No, well, now with the introduction of digital currency, because everything is traceable. And so, we're going to a place, I don't know if anyone ever has been audited by the IRS, but when you get audited, they go to all your bank accounts and they'll basically pull all your transactions,
Right.
and it takes them a lot of paperwork, a lot of things to collect. Well, if everything is electronic and digital, and which, we have the AI, we have supercomputers, they'll be able to calculate all your transactions with a push of a button if we had actual digital dollar.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Well, look, central bank digital currencies, inevitable. All right. Cryptos are the prelude to ever increasing government control. So there's nothing you can do. It's coming, and better to be part of it, better to be in the front end than the back end, and better to understand what's coming so that you can prepare for it and hopefully profit from it, which is what my next guest is going to teach you how to do. His name is Jamar James. You find him at dcgelite.com, and there's a great offer for you there. In the meantime, Jamar, obviously you've been doing cryptos for a while, and you're staying ahead, you're forward thinking. How did you come to the conclusion that this is kind of a government bid for more control and not just over what you do, but what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I have a background. I used to be a United States Marine, and
thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
It was a enlightening experience, and it was one of the best experiences in my life. But it also, kind of awakened me to the rest of the world. We're in a global economy right now. And the time in the Marine Corps, I actually went through and I learned about finance, and I got my licensing to be, in the mutual funds, and I always wanted to be a stockbroker. So I was actually trading stocks when I left the Marine Corps. And, I started seeing, cryptocurrency as a thing during the financial crisis and the housing crisis back in 2008, 2009. You had a lot of tech guys going into this thing called Bitcoin, and they were mining in 2010 and 2011. It was a peer-to-peer thing. So it's kind of like a subculture, kind of like the military is a subculture of, United States. There's a small branch that they have a different community. And I was watching this community grow, and there was a lot of tech guys. I have a background in computer science, and understanding globally that there is an alternative. They were calling it a plan B. And this is back in 2011, 2012, a plan B to the dollar. And as I'm trading stocks with prop firms and traditional markets, some of the traders started going into the digital asset market, trading this new currency called Bitcoin. And it was volatile, but there was a lot of gains to be made. And I actually started going into meetups, started meeting guys. And I realized that it was a bigger movement than just the, financial aspect. It was more of a movement of freedom and peer-to-peer. And when I started, thinking that, this is a great movement, but then who created it? And
good question there. Good question. Who did create it?
Who created it?
No.
We can find everyone. We can find Bin Laden in a cave somewhere in another country, but we can't find the creator of a asset that's digital that has a footprint on every electronic, ledgers. And so that just kind of led me to believe that, this is something bigger. And I used to read a lot of New World Order type books. And one of the things that, was very prevalent is that they wanted to create a one world currency. And with the introduction of, UN, the United Nations, trying to go to the euro, I started looking into crypto a lot more than the average. And for me, it is always a truth seeker. Just trying to find the truth about the origins. And when you can't find the truth, to me, it raises red flags. right? Red flags of like, well, why can't we uncover the truth about this currency that there's a subculture and it's peer-to-peer? And I started believing that it was just an introduction to a digital asset. Most money is laundered through cash in the world. Banks are one of the biggest, money launderers out there. And, it's just, 98% of all money is laundered through cash. And to me, it's an agenda to get rid of cash. And we're all already, going towards a cashless society.
That's such a great point. I was thinking about it the other day. I was a big adherent cash, and I was at a bar, and I gave the bartender $100 bill, and she kind of did a double take.
Right.
Looked around that bar, Jamar, and I was the only one paying cash, and I don't usually do that. It was just I like to pay cash at bars and settle out my check. So when I want to leave, I just get up and leave.
Right.
To wait around for the check. So to me, it's the ultimate convenience. But everybody else was the credit cards, the slips were out, and the cards were out. And I realized, the cashless society is basically 80-90% already here.
It's already here. We're already here. I mean, think about COVID, and when we're all in lockdown, what was the businesses that were hurt the most?
Mm-hmm.
Any business that was a cash business really was hurt the most. And then a lot of them weren't able to get the PPP loans unless you disclose all your assets.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so to me, that was like a consistency as well. I mean, the COVID was real, but the discovery period during COVID was a real thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you're talking like a conspiracy theorist here.
It's not a conspiracy theory. I'm in the weeds.
Hey, well, you know what? I have a T-shirt. That says, "I identify as a conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are told you so." So, right. So this is happening now before our very eyes. There's nothing any person can do to stop it. But, I'm reminded of a book, The Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men Often Lead Astray. This could go off the rails, and they wind up losing even more control, don't you think?
No, well, now with the introduction of digital currency, because everything is traceable. And so, we're going to a place, I don't know if anyone ever has been audited by the IRS, but when you get audited, they go to all your bank accounts and they'll basically pull all your transactions, and it takes them a lot of paperwork, a lot of things to collect. Well, if everything is electronic and digital, and which, we have the AI, we have supercomputers, they'll be able to calculate all your transactions with a push of a button if we had actual digital dollar. The only time that they question is like if you have large transactions of cash or, even a deposit, you have to explain where the deposit is coming in. Or if you're pulling out cash, go to your bank and try to pull out $30,000 in cash or $50,000, they're going to ask you why. Right? What are you going to spend it on? Where the money is going to go? So, I think the electronic, ledgers, the digital currencies is a real big part of, being able to account and count and measure how much people are spending. And this is going to help save manpower and resources for the government to actually collect more taxes.
Yeah, and with the AI, they talked about 87,000 new IRS agents. That was a red herring. All it was give them money so they can invest in AI, and then they don't need the auditors, right?
Don't need the auditors. And I mean, we have a pretty good system here where we have every business being a partner of the IRS, right? And we get tax breaks, right? Every business is a partner. So if you have employees, you're kind of helping out, and just the manpower to calculate. Well, with all the supercomputers and the AI introduction, there's a lot of tasks that's going to be automated.
Mm-hmm. All right. So how do you make money off of this? How do you actually survive and thrive in this digital totalitarian economy, Jamar?
Right. And so, one of the things I like to tell the people that's in my environment, in my mastermind, is that, the government doesn't want to stop everyone from being wealthy, right? The wealth must continue to flow. That's what keeps the government, keeps the society up. So they want to be wealthy. They want individuals to be wealthy. They just want to get their piece of it. And one aspect of mass adoption is that crypto and Bitcoin has a limited supply. And with that limited supply, as more people adopt to it and come on and are forced to move over to the digital currency, digital assets, you have a first mover advantage and you can actually buy it while it's cheap. I think after the halving in 2024, Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher than what it is now. And as more people, desire to have it, and as it become normalized and you have all these, funds starting to, it's starting to become regulated, you're going to have an influx of capital that's coming into the digital asset market. And, as a trader, I normally trade week to week or swing trade, but also build wealth. And I've been able to build wealth through crypto by actually holding on to it. The main currency, digital currency, is Bitcoin. And, the growth that it has on the other coins are astronomically higher than Bitcoin. But overall, Bitcoin by de facto is going to continue to rise.
Okay. So you don't think the government's going to squeeze it out because you know what the bumper sticker says on the car, don't steal, the government hates competition.
No, I think the government owns the most amount of Bitcoin at this moment.
Uh-huh.
Right? So the Bitcoin is a real big holder, and there hasn't been Bitcoiners or any platform that has been able to hide. Once it becomes on the blockchain, it's all traceable.
Okay. But there are ways. But hey, look, we're on constant surveillance everywhere you go. When you watch a cop show now on TV,
FBI, CIA,
it used to be they looked for fingerprints and physical clues. Now they look around to find the cameras, right? And they find the cameras, they get the video, and most of these crimes, murders, etc., seem to be solved with video evidence. So, they're using it for a good purpose, solve a crime, get justice, all that. But it really could be used for bad things as well.
100%. I mean, the surveillance, we're in a surveillance state, right? Your Ring doorbells, the Amazon, the Alexa, everything is listening and observing. There's no such thing as privacy anymore. And I believe, a digital asset, a digital dollar will also give more visibility to even what we spent.
Yeah, no doubt. So people want to learn more about you. They want to connect with you on the web, find out what it is you're doing. How do you do that?
Right. So, we actually trade, and we have one course that is an intro to trading course that actually, is accredited by colleges out there to actually learn how to crypto trade in 7 steps. You can find me at joindcg.com. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. It's Jamar James. One of the purposes is that we teach you how to trade, and then we have a mastermind of traders that are global traders. We trade all assets, stocks, options, futures, and crypto. And it is, our oral idea to be able to use the markets to be able to capture as much income out of the markets as possible, because there's one place that there's no racism, colorism, ageism. It's all behind the computer screen when you come to trading. And so that's one thing that's we believe is still going to be here. No matter the wealth switch over or not, you're still going to be able to trade paper assets, whether stocks, options, and futures. And you'll also be able to trade digital assets, which are cryptocurrencies.
All right. We appreciate it. Hey, if you got a question for Jamar, shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. We'll get you an answer quick. And while you're at it, the link to Jamar's site is in the show notes of this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. While you're there, sign up for your free newsletter. Jamar, very enlightening. Again, thank you so much for your service to the country. I know in these times, sometimes you doubt what the heck you did signing up and all that, but there are those of us out there who really appreciate the sacrifice, contribution you have made. And
no, I never doubted it. It's the best decision of my life to join the Marine Corps. But we are American.
Yeah,
to get in the bad.
Yeah, that's it, man. And hey, I'm sure you grew a lot. You know, it's a cliche. They send you out to Paris Island there. They break your will, turn you into a killing machine, but they teach you so much about yourself, what you are capable of. I bet you accomplished things you never thought you could do there.
100%. I mean, the responsibility and the manhood and the the quest for freedom and truth, and a lot of American values are still ingrained in a lot of guys that fight for freedom.
And I love the fact that you find out that there are people counting on you literally with their lives, and you're trusting your life to them as well. And that whole thing, we just tend to lose sight of the fact that we're all in this thing together, and the forces out there just want to divide us and make us hate each other. But yet, when we talk, we realize that there's so much more that we have in common and interests. Everybody wants safe streets. Everybody wants good schools. Everybody wants a good standard of living for your kids, and you want your kids to have a better life than you. How does that divide us? Because I'm missing something here, right?
Well, I think it's the lack of communication, right? When people communicate and they realize that they want the same things, we're all fighting for the same causes, that's where we bridge people together. I mean, we're all humans. We're designed to be here together. I think the interaction.
And to learn, and I've learned quite a bit from you today. Appreciate you coming on. If you got a question, again, KL@kerrylutz.com. Jamar, a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.